Right, this is video tutorial number 2 of our 3D model. In this tutorial, we're going to look at how to create a layout of this object. So you've done your model. You're going to go down to the bottom here. You're going to find your layout 1 tab. You're going to click on that, and it's going to open. Well, it should give you an isometric view of your 3D block. As such, yours might be a slightly different color, but that's what comes up for me. And what I want you to do at this point in time is go and click on the model view window, and I want you to delete it. And what we need to do is we need to set up the type of page we want to work on. And to do that, we go down to our layout tab and we right click and we go page setup manager. We then go to modify because we want to modify the layout as it is now. So we don't want to work with an A4 page, we want to work with an A3 page. We want to ensure that we are DWG2 PDF. All right, it's got the ISO full bleed, but I just like to work on a normal A3. Let's just see if we can find a normal A3. There we go. So just an ISO A3 is what we want. We want to create an extents, right? We want to send to the plot. We do want a 1:1 scale, and then we want to click OK. All right, and then close. So now the page should be set up to an A3, and the little dotted line you see around the page should be the extents to which the drawing will print. So any bit of line detail or work you put on here, or any model view windows, need to be within that framework in order for it to save as a PDF. So what I'm going to do now is show you how AutoCAD can take your object and generate a 2D model of it and various orthographic views. For this task, your purpose is going to be to take your 3D model, then from that 3D model, use AutoCAD to produce a top view, front view, and a side view in the third angle orthographic projection. It should be already set to the third angle orthographic projection. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is go to Layout. We're going to go to Base, and I'm going to insert from the model space. Now immediately you'll see that it gives me the front view of the object, right? So I'm going to click I don't want to be down the bottom, and I definitely don't want to be over here because here I want to add a little title block of information. So I'm going to go slightly left of the center of my page, and I'm going to click there. I'm going to press enter. Then I'm going to move my mouse up, and I'm going to create a top view, and then I'm going to move my mouse to the left and create a left view. And from there, what I want to do is drag my mouse up to the top corner over here and create a little isometric view of the object, and then click and press enter. Now all 3 views are on your computer, right? It's all 4 views in this sense. All right, so we've got a top view, a front view, a left side view, and an isometric view, all generated by CAD itself. So what we're going to do now is we're going to ensure that CAD inserts the line type scale is correct, and that CAD inserts center lines for us. Because we've got a hole or a circle, we need to insert, we're going to go to annotate, and we're going to add some center lines. So I'm first going to look at the top view, and I want a center line for the circle or the hole in the middle. So in order to do that, I'm going to click on that circle, and you'll see it creates a center line for me. I'm going to then go center line long ways. I'm going to click this line and this line over here, and you'll see it adds a marking over there. We'll change the scale in a moment, and it does the same thing over here. So I'm going to go center line, and I'm going to go click there, and I'm going to click there, and it adds a center line in for me. All right, we'll change the scale as we go along. Right, so in order to change the line type scale, I'm going to type in the command LTS. Sorry, let me click on the page here, activate it, LTS, and you'll see it comes up with LTS scale. What I want to do now is type in a number, probably looking at around the figure of 15 or 20. So I'm going to start with 20 and see what that presents, because what this 1 means, so if I type in LTS again, you'll see we're on 1, and if we zoom in, you'll see that the hidden detail and the center markings are already set to 1. So if I'm to imagine that the scale to be bigger and to give us a fair scale to see those well enough, I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to type in 20, press enter, and you'll see we start to get a better look at the types of conventions we need to use. You can go in again, go LTS, and maybe type in 25, enter, and there we go. Now we have our center markings in. We've got our hidden detail in as well. Yeah, and so now we're good to go. Now for the isometric view over here, we don't want hidden detail. So I click on the isometric view, right? I go to edit view, right? And then I go to only visible lines. And that will give me an isometric view without any hidden detail. So I get a more realistic view of the block. Perfect. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is add some color to the different conventions, and I'm going to introduce you to how to adjust line weight settings whilst you're in the 3D. Now, instead of when we 2D annotate and draft, we have to create our layers and we have to attribute to them line weights and colors. When we 3D model, CAD develops the layers automatically, and then you go in and edit. So what we want to do here is go to our layer properties at the top corner over here. Right, and as I click on layer properties, what should happen is it should open up a little properties manager here with indications of the types of lines, so visible, hidden, etc., and color and line weights. So we want to make sure that our hidden is sitting at, we're going to click on line weight here, and we want to make sure that the hidden is 0.05. I'm going to say okay. And then what I'm going to do here is change the color. So for hidden detail, I'm going to attribute it to blue, and you'll see my hidden detail changes to blue. Then what I want to do here is I want to ensure that my visible lines are thick enough. So it's 0.5 or 0.35, either of those are fine. And what I'm going to do to infer those line weights, right, I'm going to just cancel out of properties. I'm going to ensure that on my hamburger menu that my line weights are ticked, and that the line weight display is activated. And should I activate my line weights, let me just do that again. Make sure my line weights are activated. For some reason, I'm not getting success on that. Oh, there we go. So if you zoom in, you will notice that the line weights have been attributed to the various parts of the drawing. Now, my center markings, we do not want the line weights that thick. All right, so I'm going to click on each one of them, type in MO, and enter. That should bring up the some general settings for that. So the line weight we want to make here also is 0.05, right? And it's got transparency, and we're going to change the color of the line weights to red, and I'm going to go off that. All right, we could have done it in the layer properties, but that's okay for now. So we changed our conventions are slightly different so that the outlines and the hidden detail and center markings are represented differently and much more easier to see. Now we're going to create a border and a title block very simply. I'm going to click on the rectangular command. Here I'm going to click at the top corner, may zoom in a little bit. So click somewhere near the top corner, and I'm going to open it up to the bottom corner like so. And you'll see that it's working. We're working already with visible. Okay, so let's make sure that I highlight that and make sure that it is on visible. There we go. So it'll pick up a nice thickness as the border for the border. Right, you'll see that I'm slightly off in this bottom corner. So what I can do, just making sure that I've got my ortho snap on for right angles, I can just bring it in a tad just so that it's not sitting too close to that extent. So we want to ensure that we print that. So I'll come to the bottom here, and I'm just going to lift it up slightly. Make sure, again, that that 90-degree snap is on so that it doesn't bend the line. Now we're ready to go to add our title block. So very simply today, we're going to add basic annotations. So if I go, we're on home here, we want to add in words or writing. In order to do that, we're going to go to annotate, right? Because we're in 3D modeling. We're going to go to multi-line text, and I'm going to start to type in a few, some various, just some things for my title block. So my first will be, the name of this will just be 3D model. So that's going to be the name of my drawing, and that's quite simple. Now what you'll see is that the scale is completely incorrect. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go MO for properties, enter. And you will see that the text height is sitting at 0. I want to give myself at least a 3 for now for text height, and you'll see that that increases it better within the scale of the page. So I'm going to click on that again and just bring that in a little bit so that it's not, right, there we go. So now I'm going to move this over to the side. I'm actually going to make that a little bit bigger in a moment. I'm going to take my orthographic mode off so that I'm not stuck to parallel lines or movements. So it's a 3D model, right? And we've got a scale of 1:1. So I'm going to add another. You can either add another text, but what I would do here is I'll just go click, Control C, Control V. Underneath, I'll type in there scale and comma 1:1. Brilliant. Right, so we've got 3D model, scale 1:1. Right, and we're going to continue adding specific information. So Control copy. This will be drawn by, and you will put your name. So it will be drawn by, colon. Obviously going to open that up a bit, and I'm going to put my name. Right, and then you're going to go checked by, and then when you say checked by, we're referring to your teacher, your person who's going to be marking this work. So we're going to say checked by. Check is being done by, again, I'm the teacher as well, so that'll be my name, right? And then lastly, we want to have, we don't actually need writing. We want to insert the orthographic projection symbol for the third angle orthographic, which means that the way this is laid out represents third angle, so we want to have the symbol inserted here. But before we go do that, what I'm going to do is create a layout for all this information. I'm highlighting the whole thing. I'm clicking M for move, and I'm just going to pull that across now. So what I'm going to do here is go to my home page, and I'm going to take some rectangles. First of all, how big do I want my title block? Not very big. I don't think we need it much bigger than that. I think that's perfect. I'm going to bring 3D model down here, and I'm going to add it to the top, and I'm going to try center it to the best as I possibly can. I do want to make this slightly bigger because that's the name. We can do it the manual way again. So MO, enter properties, and I'm probably going to make that text height maybe about 6, so double what everything else is. I'm going to move that across just slightly. Now what you'll notice is that it's kicking the word model out to the side, so I'm going to double click on it, grab these two horizontal lines there, pull it over, and now you'll see it keeps it on a single line. Then I'm going to add a separate block for that. So I'll go to that corner, make sure I click on the opposite side, opposite line. Right, so I'm going to be on there, stack it up a little bit. There we go. So now we're going to put in, I'm going to put in drawn by just below. So, I'm sorry, let me take my ortho snap off. So we're going to go drawn by there. Then I'll go give an equal amount of space just below. We'll go check by, right? And then we will go, I will put scale in over here. We can put the scale over there. And then we'll have the orthographic projection symbol close by as well. In fact, I'm going to put the scale here, so just change my layout just a little bit. No, I'll keep it, sorry, let me keep it where it is. That's probably going to be a better solution. Let me just move it over slightly. There we go. Now what I'll do is, again, I'll just open some blocks. This is a very manual way to do a block. You don't have to do it this way. So I'm going to go up a little bit using my ortho mode just to keep it square. I'm going to attach it there. I'm going to open it from there again, and you can see I'm just creating little blocks of information, nothing to make sure my ortho is on, so it keeps it snapped on that line. There we go. There's the scale, ready to go. And then I'm going to put the symbol in this bottom corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to block this off in two places. So I'm going to go across to the halfway point on the triangle, and then I'm going to go straight down. That's halfway. Right, so the next part then is to get the orthographic projection symbol sitting in that bottom right-hand corner. Let me move the scale over just a tad so that it's slightly more centered. And then you can play with the size of this if you want to. That's completely up to you. Right, so the title block is nearly complete. All we need to do now is go and add the orthographic projection symbol. Right, in order to go and insert the orthographic projection symbol that's required, the third angle, and the reason obviously we need it is so that anyone viewing our document knows exactly which view is which according to the symbol that's required, okay, or given. So we're going to go to your learning journey. So you're going to go to your learning journey. You go to the intranet to go through your team. So you'll go to learning journey, and you'll see that what's given to you here is the third angle orthographic symbol, already done for you. So you're going to click on it. Then I want you to download it very quickly. It'll go to your downloads folder. You're going to open it, and you'll see that it's already done for you or drawn for you. You're going to highlight, Control C. You're going to go back to where you were working, and you're going to go Control V. Now you'll see that it's a little bit bigger than what we need right now, and the scale we might have to change in a bit as well. So I'm going to right-click the whole thing. First of all, I'm going to change it to, let's maybe use a slightly, there we go. So I've just changed it to MD annotation so that it's slightly thinner, but we'll get to that in a moment in more detail. So I'm going to highlight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in scale because it's too big. I'm going to type in scale, enter. Then I'm going to highlight the whole object, press enter again, and then it's going to say specify a point on which you want to scale the object. Now I'm probably going to need it at least 3 times smaller, so I'm going to click on that there. Again, you can decide to how big you want to scale this. So I'm going to click on the middle point, and I'm going to type in 0.3, and you'll see it makes it really small. I'm then going to highlight M, enter, and then I'm going to click on it and then move it without the ortho snap on into the position at the bottom here. So now you'll see that unfortunately the scale is a little bit big. So I'm going to create a layer property for this. I'm going to call it, I'm going to go here and I'm going to say new layer, and I'm going to say ortho symbol. Okay, and we're going to change this to a line weight of 0.05. Press OK. So what I'm going to do then from this point is I'm going to highlight the whole thing, right? Go down, click down to ortho symbol, and you'll see that it changes the scale, the line weight, automatically as I attribute this to it. So again, what we can do here is take the center lines as we've been working with, and we can change them to red. We had them at red, did we not? So I'm going to go MO for properties, highlight it MO, and by layer I'm just going to create red as as the color to designate the center markings. Alright, so now we've got our symbol set up with hidden detail. That's our third angle orthographic projection symbol, and we have all the necessary information that we need. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the printer icon, the plot icon at the top. Click on that. I'm then going to go continue to a single sheet, and I'm going to preview, and that is all. We can see that this is slightly over to the left, so we can go in and adjust that. So I'm going to click off that. I'm going to go to my margin here. I'm not too sure why it's not showing the extent of that margin, so I'll just come in slightly, make sure that I'm on my ortho mode so it doesn't bend a bit. There we go. We're going to go to plot, continue to a single sheet one more time. The plot has been centered, extends DWG, and we're going to preview. Hopefully everything is, there we go. So everything is centered, ready to go. Information is all there, and all I'm going to do now is click the print because we've set it up, and it should now go ahead. I'm going to save it on my desktop. You can save it wherever you want. I'm going to save that, and you'll see now that it will save as a PDF document ready for you to upload. So this you'll take now, and you will upload it, and you'll turn it in as an assignment on Teams. And this task is then complete. Well done, gents, on completing your first little 3D modeling project. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the process of using CAD to self-generate a lot of information which you would usually have to draw.